Yo, what is the deal? It is almost it's almost Father's Day weekend. It's almost summer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Still Black Music
Hey,
Month,
wait a
still
minute.
Pride
Wait a minute.
Month.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You know what's fucked up?
Hmm.
I'm about to tell you what's really messed up, Kent.
Okay.
I forgot.
Hey, now you know what? I
And
did
I'm a
too.
father.
I did too. Shout to my daughter for reminding her mom who hit me, asking me what I was doing next week. And I was like, oh man, what's going on then? And then, which, I mean,
Damn.
hey, I haven't had all the greatest Father's Days, guys. Sorry.
G. It's Juneteenth
Yeah,
on,
we do
on the
too.
19th. It is Juneteenth. My sister's 21st birthday. Can't believe my sister's turning 21.
Wow.
And
Wow. I've been around
and
that long.
right. And
Wow.
you I just thought about that. Like shit, yeah. And it's Father's Day.
Yeah.
So Father's Day literally is not gonna count for me because I'm getting asked what am I gonna do for my sister's 21st birthday? And I'm like, why she want to be around her old ass brother? I'm 40. You know,
Yeah.
can I celebrate Father's Day? Can I?
Yeah, man. Wow, 21.
Yeah,
Wow. Jeez.
yeah.
Time.
Ain't stopping for nobody.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. Man. Well, hey, but look, as that life revelation takes place in June, y'all, you know what time it is. You know what we do here, man. It's time to talk about wrestling like nobody else in the world. And that does mean that it's time for the first Black Champ podcast. And I'm Camp from the Port.
And I'm JR Bang. Make sure you rate, like, subscribe, download wherever you get your favorite podcast. Get that merch. You see Camp with the chocolate on. Make sure you follow us at fbc.pod, fbc_pod. And man, the Facebook group. Shouts out to everybody that was in the Facebook group. It was pretty active
Yeah,
between everybody from the crib who went over to Hell in the Cell,
yeah.
Chicago at the Rosemont Horizon, not the Allstate Arena, it's the Rosemont Horizon. So shouts out to our man ASAP Funny, shouts out to Mike B, who was there too. Shouts out to our man Pat and everybody who was there checking out Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins
Yeah.
and Cody Rhodes' arm. So as we
Hmm.
recap Hell in the Cell, let me ask you this. Because we've seen a lot of injuries in wrestling. You know, we've seen Sid Vicious break his leg in half. Scott Putski break his leg in half too. They cut that shit on the network. Both of those injuries they cut on the network.
All right.
We've seen Eddie Guerrero do a frog splash and his elbow pop out. We've seen a number of Hardcore Holly and the cut across his back. We've seen some pretty gruesome injuries. We've
Yeah.
seen Triple H tear his squad. We see a lot of stuff that happen in wrestling with injuries.
Hmm.
And then we go to Hell in a Cell and they announced that Cody Rhodes, well, actually it was announced that Cody Rhodes had hurt himself the day before.
Yeah.
So the main event was in doubt. And then they
What up,
said that
Ross?
he wasn't going to, oh, Ross said, what up, Ross?
Hmm.
Um, you see them say, that he has an injury. He might wrestle, he might not. And
Right.
then they say that he has a torn pectoral muscle. And, famously, remember John Cena tearing his pec muscle
Yeah.
and everything and being out for a while. So, of course, all of us is thinking, yeah, we're not going to see Cody Rhodes tonight. And not only do we see him, we see his whole chest and pec area,
Yeah.
a whole bunch of different colors.
Yeah, man.
So I asked you, is that the worst shit you've ever seen in wrestling?
No.
Okay.
Nothing beats a broken bone. Just keeping it real. Now, I think that is the first time I've actually seen the post injury. Because even when Triple H tore his quad and you've seen where it happened, they had to stop, freeze frame, slow motion, then show you. But he wasn't even bruised then.
Yeah, you just saw
Yeah,
his quad just do this.
right. When I seen that, I was like, when I seen Cody's injury, I'm like, damn, it looked like he fell from a building and landed on his
Right
just
there.
on his fucking sternum and arm and shit. So it's not the worst I've seen, because outside of the bruising, it honestly didn't look bad. And I know that's duh, Cam, right? But but when for me, nothing beats when Sid came off that second rope and that mug looked like he snapped into a Slim Jim. That shit was like a motherfucking Twix in the bag. That shit looked crazy as fuck. It took me years to watch that again and not cringe, and I'm still not desensitized to it. Like, I can see it right now as I'm talking. We do not have it up on either screen.
Yeah, it's not the worst, but it's number 2.
Okay.
And the reason why it's number 2 for me, because I was wondering how they was gonna get this match off. I'm not a medical person,
right?
So I don't know, but now it looks like it's one of those injuries that you can at least try to perform through. Just give me a shot.
Yeah.
But all I saw right there was a whole bunch of bruising, which means that it's blood around somewhere. Right. And I was like, yo, you gonna wrestle through that? I'm straight. I'm good. Now with the Sid Vicious leg break, I still remember watching that live because that pay-per-view on the low was free. That we did not pay for that pay-per-view. Wow, that was one of the few WCW pay-per-views that I talked about a couple of episodes ago, where you'll be watching like the pre-show and then it'll stay on for like 15 minutes. 16, you good for the rest of the night.
Right.
That was one of the ones. And he jumped off that rope and I said, ooh. And then Scott Steiner pinned him real quick and got it out the way. But it's number 2 also, again, because he had to perform through that. He made the choice because he didn't want, I guess he didn't want like the main event to be disappointed, the fans to be disappointed, and he wrestled.
Yeah.
So it was a beautiful disaster.
Hey, there you go. It really is.
It was a beautiful disaster, because I'm gonna say this right now. While that was number 2 worst things that I've seen, I don't think it's a hot take, because we knew what was going on and we knew coming in. And as soon as he took off his jacket, everybody in Chicago was like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Hey, man, take your ass home, G. We good. Chicago is the take your ass home, G. We good. Don't even once we see it, like, we good, G. Take your ass home.
Your shit fucked up for real.
Shit fucked up for real. You ain't got to do this tonight for us.
Right.
White people wearing, black people like, oh, you ain't got to do this shit for us. That was the best performance that I've seen ever in a wrestling ring, due to the circumstances. Like I said, due to the circumstances.
Okay.
Because again, I'm not no doctor. Yeah. I don't know like what you can wrestle through and what you can't wrestle through.
Right.
But I know when he took off that jacket, I woke up.
Yeah.
I was he's not gonna make it through this. And I was waiting a couple of times for the X to happen and the match to be over. And I also want to commend Seth Rollins because what we've learned in wrestling is that it's a dance and your partner got to take care of you. He took care of Cody Rhodes that night.
Yeah.
And Dave Meltzer gave that a 5-star rating. I'm going on record and saying that was the best performance that I've seen from a wrestler in my lifetime because of the extenuating circumstances. And I had a week to think about this, so don't think I'm just hot taking.
No, I don't think so.
Because I can't think of a match where an injury was so severe, because then if you look at the next day, that shit went from here and here to here.
Yeah. He was definitely more fucked up. Monday night.
His shit looked like he became a villain in a Marvel movie. It's like, yo, we gonna start like some shit bit him, and he gonna start here. And then the next day he look at his arm like, oh my God. And then next thing you know, he turned into like a monster or whatever. That's how his arm looked. So like, I do commend Cody for coming to Chicago and taking care of Chicago. But Chicago wanted to take care of him and tell him to go to the crib. But how did you feel about the match in general? Like, what was your thoughts about that Hell in a Cell? Because it was only one, too.
Right. I was kind of in awe, just in general. Because when you talk about the match, and you're right, as soon as he came down, I was like, oh, so man, I want to see this injury, because we've obviously heard torn pec injury. Like, you've heard it in many sports, football, wrestling, sometimes even in basketball, depending on who the athlete is. But I've never seen in my life the aftermath of a torn pec, like when you've had 12, 24, 36 hours to like deal with it and then see what's happening. Like, I've never seen that. So when it happened, I was like, oh, like I literally was quiet like the rest of the crowd. I was like, oh, that shit. So immediately I did think, and I did watch the pre-show, so I kind of knew the fix was in to a degree, because everybody picked Seth Rollins. Like, everybody totally just abandoned kayfabe. It was like, Seth Rollins gonna win this match because he can't beat him with a torn quad and Hell in a Cell. I'm like, okay, so I was like, okay, so somehow Cody about to win this fucking match and I'm wrong now. I was like, so fuck y'all, but let's see where this goes. And for the match to start off the way it was, I'll admit, in the first 5 minutes, I was like, oh, this is about to be the shortest Hell in a Cell match ever. But then he hit that's the
Cody cutter.
Yeah, the Cody cutter.
The Cody cutter
of the rope. I was like, oh, he said, fuck it, I'm wrestling.
Right, man.
He said, oh, fuck it, I'm wrestling. No, we doing this. I'm hurt anyway. I was gonna get hurt in this match. Fuck it. We're doing this. And that's when I was like, oh, wow, this is pretty incredible. And then we get, I think about 10 minutes in, I was like, oh man, so a lot of wrestlers is pussy is what Cody Rhodes saying, right? Right? A lot of y'all pussy is what he's saying. Okay. and then to do crossroads like 4 or 5 times in the match,
bro,
and that involves both your arms and both your pecs. I was like, oh, Cody really do want to be remembered as the best wrestler of this generation.
Pause. That's exactly where I was going. I want you to pause right there. That's what I thought 5 minutes into the match.
Yeah.
He really wants to be known as the GOAT of this generation.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but my question to you was going to be, is he in the conversation now?
Yeah, man. I think and one match should do it. One match does it for everybody, right? You know what I'm saying? When Shawn and Bret had the match, the Iron Man match, from that day moving forward, hey, the 2 best wrestlers in the world are Shawn and Bret, and then Ric Flair. You know what I'm saying? Like Ric Flair is like honored, like how WCW did the top 10 is 1 through 10, and there's a champ. So it literally became Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, and Bret Hart neck and neck. That's just how it happened. Steve Austin had this run with Bret Hart. We threw him up there, even though Jesse Ventura beat us to it by fucking 6 years. He was in that conversation. I think it's no different here. When you look at the circumstances, we know the injury is real. We know the injury ain't kayfabe. We already know wrestling is scripted, but the performance, it's all about the performance. It's never been about the wins and losses. It's always been about the performance. And we're not going to see that again.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? We're just not. Because the perfect storm for everything to happen, like he was in the main event match on his return, specialty match at the pay-per-view that really needed him. Every part of me would have believed, like, if Cody was in another match, like if this was Cody versus Sami Zayn, just to say it happened, he wouldn't have went on.
Right.
But this is big time player. This is main eventer. This is headliner. This is world champion. I'm built different. I'm cut like that type of moment. And Cody was like, look, I can't mail it in. Like, I'm everything I say I am. And we're not about to get derailed here by saying, oh, you know what I'm saying, I'm hurt. Even though, look, we get it. Shit happens. other athletes have signed a big contract and tore their Achilles. You know, I didn't think he was Andrew Bynuming us. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't tripping like that. But the fact that he went out there and had longer than a 5-minute match where he didn't get squashed just to say he did it. Yeah, especially for this era, like, and with Dave giving that 5 stars, you have to recalibrate 5-star matches now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if for those of you that go by 5-star ratings and ratings are life, you have to now recalibrate, because if somebody ain't performing like Cody at 100%, they don't get 5. You can't. It's impossible. And if you are also basing it on the dance partner, in other words, how great Seth made Cody look, again, you still can't give him a 5, because we're not going to see this again. That ain't happening. You might see something similar. A nigga might blow his knee out in the middle of a match, but it won't be this. It won't be this.
Yeah.
So yes, the answer. I mean, so I'm sorry again to answer your question clearly. Yeah, yeah, because one match is all it takes.
Cody Rhodes, to me, has put himself in a position that he's going to be the WWE's next superhero. Because now that he has surgery, they say he's going to be out for 9 months.
Yes. And oh man, I'm glad you said that, because he even was talking like, "Oh, I'll be back for Money in the Bank," and I was like, "Okay, no, you cap now."
Yeah. We
I like, fam, if you do that, nah, your Hall of Fame induction is tonight. We're gonna give you Roman Reigns belts,
right? Just gonna give it to you,
yeah, because you're not coming back after that, bro.
Yeah,
not that soon. Anyway.
Cody Rhodes has put himself in superhero status. Because if you guys remember with John Cena, when he came back as number 30 in the Royal Rumble after torn pectoral muscle, Madison Square Garden blew up.
Yeah.
I mean,
and we got to add more context to that too, Bang, because Cena was supposed to be out for a year, and he came back in like 5 months.
Right. He came back in like half of the time that he was supposed to be out with a torn pectoral, torn off the bone.
Yeah.
Now, Cody Rhodes, torn pectoral, torn off the bone, wrestles, defeats Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell, comes back the next day, tells us that he's going to wrestle at Money in the Bank. We know you lying.
Yeah.
Seth comes out, hit him with the sledgehammer. He has his surgery. He's out for 9 months. Cody Rhodes superhero trajectory goes like this. If he's healthy enough, especially after he just wrestled with a torn pectoral muscle already, he comes to the Royal Rumble, and I'll even make his superhero story even bigger. Come in as one of the top 5, first 5. Don't even wait and make him 30th or whatever. He comes in between 1 through 5. He comes in through 1 through 5. He could fight, have him thrown out the ring, rest a little bit, come back in, do all of that stuff, right? He wins the Royal Rumble. He challenges Roman Reigns right off the bat. You don't even see him until WrestleMania. Royal Rumble to WrestleMania is like 2.5, 3 months anyway. That's the whole 9 months. He goes to WrestleMania and he defeats Roman Reigns for the title. Now, it's also been reported that Cody Rhodes is right now the backup. So if The Rock, Roman Reigns don't happen, it's Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. And look, man, I love Dwayne Johnson to death.
Yeah, man.
I love him to death. But what Cody just did, I don't need to see Rock Roman Reigns right now.
Yeah.
I can see that at SummerSlam then if this is the case.
They can call that audible for sure.
Yeah, but the way that Cody Rhodes left so he could go on vacation has made him a superhero. You can't have Cody Rhodes in a grudge match at WrestleMania after that.
Yeah, nah.
Because he just literally became the biggest face in the company right there.
Yeah.
You literally now have your Hulk Hogan, Macho Man. You have your Rock, Stone Cold. You have your Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes because of what he did at Hell in a Cell. I love The Rock. I'm a Rock fan, but I'm not wasting Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania Backlash.
Right.
That has to happen on the biggest stage, showcase of the immortals, because Cody Rhodes shows himself to be quote unquote immortal.
Yeah, shit. I mean, not only do I agree with all of that, that was going to be the audible possible guarantee I was going to throw out there. But even now, you know, Roman Reigns versus The Rock at Survivor Series, if they do it at a big enough arena or stadium, even makes sense because he got both the belts. He has nobody to face. You know what I mean? So, I mean, and shit, Survivor Series is where The Rock debuted. You know what I'm saying? So Survivor, you can still make a great tie in it. I even think just now, just where Roman Reigns' character and story is, that Rock Roman WrestleMania, it's not as sexy as it was.
Right.
It's not as sexy as it was. And you know what? That means shout to the men on both brands that have made the allure of themselves and their cachet up to not make it as sexy. Yeah. We weren't talking about a lot of people just last year as possible contenders, but now where we sit, June 2022, we want to see Roman Bobby Lashley. We want to see Roman Riddle. We want to see Roman Cody. And Seth and Roman got to run it back. So that's 4. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't have 4 people for Roman Reigns last fall. We didn't have 4.
No.
So no, I completely agree. And yeah, Cody winning the Royal Rumble makes all the sense in the world because if he can get to that Hell in a Cell match the night after the pack, he can make it about 5 months after.
Yeah. Yeah, man, he can. Hey, let's toss it over to the women because I think while Cody Rhodes had a 5-star match, I ain't gonna lie, I think that triple threat match with the ladies was a 5-star match as well. Bianca Belair is still continuously making me feel like I'm right when I say she's the best in the company right now. Becky Lynch and Asuka as well really did their thing. They all did that thing. And I think the only thing that did that match a disservice is that should have been in the cage. That should have been in the cell.
Yeah. I'm actually, you know what? And I was actually surprised after I really seen what was happening. I'm like, wow, Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, we don't have 2 Hell in a Cell matches. And like that was 1. And then 2, we don't have a title on the line in the Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, there was something faulty about that. But Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, Asuka had the match of the night before Cody Rhodes and them did their thing.
Right.
I also think that match did the women's division the service that it needed. As you heard me bitch and moan and complain these last couple of weeks, I've bitch, moaned, and complained about secondary feuds within the women's division and how they need to matter in order for the division to be what I believe it can be.
Okay.
You have a Becky Lynch and Asuka feud that could continue. You got Becky still mad because now she feels like even more she should be the champion, but she's been had. And then even when you look down, like you have a feud that I want to see.
What's that?
I want to see Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss.
Really, that's what you saw. You're stepping on my guarantee, but I like it.
No, I just want to see it. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do want to see it. I think. I ain't even gonna say it. I'm gonna wait because I don't want to throw that out there because it will make me mad.
Okay.
But when I think about those secondary feuds and everything, the way I look at it is simply put, like you have enough women in the division to create matchups.
Yeah.
Create them. Because it goes to one of the things that I'm going to talk about that I'm going to bring up later today, where I think something is happening too early. Way too early in my estimation. But you do have enough feuds to capitalize off of building this division, at least on Raw, back to what it can be. Because on SmackDown, I say one of the best things that I saw, and I've been singing her praises because she my SmackDown girlfriend right now, and that's Shotzi Blackheart.
Okay.
Like Shotzi Blackheart showed herself very well on SmackDown this past week. But if you watch the last 2 weeks of SmackDown, she's basically been poking the bear anyway, and telling the women, yeah, we should get this and we should get that. And now you got Natalya wrestling Ronda Rousey at Money in the Bank, I believe is going to be. You see her have a great match, Shotzi, against Ronda Rousey. You see Raquel Gonzalez, thrown into the fray. You even see Aaliyah getting a little bit of love. Yeah. And all of this is happening, remember, without Sasha Banks, without Naomi, without Bayley.
Yeah, and without Charlotte.
Yeah, and without Charlotte, because she's still on her honeymoon. So that's why I say we need a lot more of these type of feuds to help build up that division. So we're not just looking at who's fighting against the women's champion, and that's it. So
and it also gives her a chance to get better in the ring. So that's dope. I hope it didn't sound shady. I hope it didn't sound bogus, but no, it's facts though. Because again, any other challenger outperforming the champ like that would have the belt. Like, I'm just keeping it a bean.
Man, look, Shotzi won MVP this week for me because of that performance. And they got to stop sleeping on her, man. They really do. Chicago, I want to give Chicago a big hand.
Absolutely, always.
Because I text people, I tweeted them, I said it. Bobby Lashley got to have the biggest pop of the night in Chicago for obvious reasons. The Almighty can't get a light applause in Chicago. And not only did we not get a light applause, he got one of the biggest, if not biggest, pops of the night.
Yeah, man.
But I'm going to ask you a question, Camp. You said it. You've been out on the forefront of this. So the floor is yours.
Okay.
Bobby Lashley. I did say that Bobby Lashley was going to defeat Omos by pinning or submitting MVP.
Yeah.
And that's what happens to keep Omos strong. But my question to you is, even in their efforts for him not to look strong, not to not look weak, is Omos looking weak?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Bobby walked out of Chicago. He walked out. You know what I mean? It's
just walked out. Grabbed the replica belt for one of the fans. Basically said he want that title shot.
Yeah. He was like, hey, you know what's next though?
I don't know if the fan got the belt back.
Yeah, who knows? And who cares? You know what I mean? Because 3-time black champ on the way is what he said.
Basically.
Man, yeah, I think about even when Andre the Giant was at his worst, health-wise. You still getting choked out, bro. Somebody, the refs got to drag you out, even if you get the ups on them. You didn't get the ups on them. Like, no, even if you get the ups on them, you don't get shit off.
Right.
And that's what happened. You're getting paintbrushed or something. You know what I mean? It's like, that's some paintbrush nigga. But yeah, man. So now, because now nothing works for Omos. Now the best thing for Omos was him rolling with AJ Styles, which, hey, I was never mad at that. By the way, like that, I didn't see anything wrong with that being a thing for another year, especially if we're not putting AJ in the title hunt, major title hunt too. So, I can't say I know what the plans are because he's not looking as useful as he did a year ago
at all.
And this is a guy whose first match he won a title. You know what I mean?
At WrestleMania.
And here we are. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm hoping for different, but right now we don't even need to see Omos to the Royal Rumble, and he can be 17 and be out by 23. That's how I look at it right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, unfortunately, I agree with you. What you said the last couple of weeks. If this is where we're going, he need to be future endeavored.
Yeah, man.
And I get the whole thing. He don't take the pin, so he looks strong and all of that stuff. I get that wrestling logic.
Shit, now when Bobby walk out the arena, you don't.
That's where it comes in. Like when this happens, somebody got to get their ass beat after the match.
Yeah. Bobby
Lashley walked into Chicago getting cheered, walked out of Chicago getting even more cheered.
Yeah.
And you know he was stalled for time because the ref yelled at him. And I believe he told him to keep going because he kept going and went harder, which revved up the crowd even more.
Yeah.
And when he grabbed that belt, I said, oh, shit, Roman Reigns is going to wrestle. Now, side note, according to reports, Roman Reigns ain't scheduled to defend no title at Money in the Bank.
Yeah, man.
We'll talk about that a little bit later about that Hulk Hogan in 85 schedule.
Hey, I like it, man.
I like it too.
Sorry.
But I like it in this way. It was a lot to talk about this week, and we didn't talk about the champ.
Man.
And that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, not at all. Again, circling back, that's why my thoughts on Hell in a Cell were what they were when we were doing the predictions. I was like, look how much Vince trusts who he got. Like we got 4 major titles ain't on the card, and he like, yeah, and we winning too.
And somebody might say, bang, you tripping. Here's why I'm not tripping. I grew up in the 80s, Jack, in the early 90s. I ain't see Hulk Hogan all the time.
No.
Superstars, come on. I knew Hulk Hogan wasn't wrestling. I still watched, didn't I? I was still excited, wasn't I? I've told y'all this, and I'm going to tell y'all again. These premium live events, like Hell in a Cell and WrestleMania Backlash and all of those joints, those are getting treated like Raw and SmackDown or Superstars.
Yeah, man.
As long as Roman Reigns got that belt. And I had said it's low expectations for Hell in a Cell, but I expect it to be dope. It was dope. Even with the Madcap Moss match where he beat the shit out of Happy Corbin.
Man, listen.
The Omos Bobby Lashley match was entertaining.
Yeah.
And of course the triple threat match with the ladies. I just think the atmosphere of being in Chicago or the Chicagoland area is just one of a kind. I want them to go to Wintrust now, though. We don't have to go to Rosemont. Let's go to Wintrust. Let's go to the South Loop. But I think all in all, the pay-per-view that we watched was on point, and it made Cody a legend. Now,
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
I don't know what just happened right there.
Device, so try restarting them. Unplug both of them. Then
Who talking?
The router back in.
It sounds like something disconnected on your end. I have nothing connected over here.
Plug in the Echo device.
Oh, I know what that is.
I was gonna say I don't have Echo anything.
That's Amazon. It's my Amazon Echo.
Yeah. How is that? I was going to get that.
It's decent. Like I got it when it was a penny.
Ah, yeah. See,
not the sales. Yeah, it was decent when we was in DC. I have not hooked it. I plugged it up, but I didn't hook it up to the internet. Then Alexa started talking to me. So this episode is featuring Alexa.
Believe it.
So don't even worry about that. But as I was saying, that pay-per-view was dope. That pay-per-view was good. The Monday night Raw afterwards was pretty decent as well. except for one thing. Bobby Lashley gets to talking about how he has championship dreams and aspirations, and he wants that title from Roman Reigns. And Theory ass pops up.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to see Bobby Lashley in no U.S. title feud.
No. But you know what? I really don't think it's gonna happen. To be honest with you, like in the full blown U.S. title feud, nah. I would, cause like let me tell y'all what I would love to see. I would love to see Bobby Lashley beat Theory ass just because and be like, nah, I don't want that belt. Like, nah, Vince, don't like, cause the thing that I drew back to, Bang, if you realize, and I know you realize this, you know, there was a time where Bobby Lashley was Theory. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of both of those worlds meeting. You know what I'm saying? And even though, you know, Bobby Lashley did represent Trump in the WrestleMania match, but that's all predicated in being Vince's guy. He's like, oh no, I trust you and Umaga in this match with me and him, Battle of the Billionaires. Like, this is our thing. What I would love to happen here is a lot like what happened with Miz and Ali, but Bobby don't want the belt. He was like, dude, I've had that a couple times. I'm the 2-time WWE champion. Fuck what you talking about. I'm gonna beat your ass, and I'm gonna make your guy, the boss, Vince McMahon, give me a WWE championship match. And I don't think he should be derailed. The only way I want to see it being derailed if Bobby Lashley is like, look, I'm just gonna win every title that's got anything to do with Raw. So I want to be the US champ, I want to be the WWE champ, and you know what? I'll take his Universal Championship too. Maybe I should work double duty. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind that. I think this is really just another attempt to get Theory over with a greater competitor. No disrespect to Miz or Ali, but Theory's a little bit above that. And not because he's holding the title, but because of who he was before he came in.
Yeah.
So I look at it like that and that only, but I understand the obvious reservations that we saw on Raw.
Yeah, I said that Theory is the future of the WWE, or one of the future pillars, to steal something from AEW of the WWE. I just don't want to see Bobby Lashley fighting for no mid-card title.
Word. Facts. Neither do I.
I don't. The one thing that irritated me about Chris Benoit, excuse me, I don't want to die. The one thing that irritated me about Chris Jericho is that I always thought that he should stay in the title picture or just have high quality grudge matches. It killed me to see him win the Intercontinental Championship after holding the World Championship. Like, it's something to Jake Roberts, man. If I'm over, I'm over. I don't need no belt. Sometimes just being as over as I am right now is better than having a belt. And yeah, I was wild on my bad. I meant Chris Jericho, not Chris Benoit. You know.
Yeah, like Chris Benoit. They both from Canada, but I know you know you didn't mean that.
I know I didn't mean that. I meant Christopher Jericho. But yeah, it irritated me, man. It irritated me to see this man win a it honestly, it kind of irritates me to see the Miz get an Intercontinental title belt after being the world, because it signifies that you ain't getting a sniff of this shit anytime soon. That's what scares me about it. Just like, oh nah, you're not getting it here, especially what happened on Friday on SmackDown with Riddle. It's like, you know, Bobby goes on the pay-per-view, has the match that he has, the crowd responds the way he do. He picks up the world belt, and then the next day, like, Theory gonna come out and holler at you. And then he entertained it. Well, you know what? Why don't I wrestle you for this belt? It's like, man, nah, Bobby. No, you had that a couple of times. You straight. Don't even worry about it. So if what scares me, I'll even tell you more what scares me more with Money in the Bank coming up. That Theory or Bobby Lashley will not be a part of the Money in the Bank ladder match. It's going to be Bobby Lashley versus Theory for the US Championship. And Ali is going to cost Theory the belt, making Bobby Lashley the US champion. Now, I don't want to see that.
Right.
But I'm so glad that this did happen for one person. And we get into that now.
Okay.
Before we, you know what? Let's wait because I want to save that. My last question before we do get to that is, what was the point of Edge and Judgment Day?
Well, if you want my perspective,
yeah. Well, to give context real quick to build it up, Edge was kicked out of Judgment Day after Finn Balor was brought in. Yeah. We've been predicting that Finn Balor was going to join Judgment Day and all of that stuff. So that was
so we weren't wrong.
We wasn't wrong. It's just we was wrong and Edge getting thrown out. Now, just to throw this out there, and this is reported by Dave Meltzer. He said the turn was a kind of a last minute thing. Edge was told that they wanted to go in a supernatural direction with the group, and he ain't like that idea. So they was like, "All right, we're just gonna take you out the group." To you.
Yeah, no, and you know what? It's interesting that Edge felt like that because it's kind of how I felt. I thought it was getting too sorcery, if you will,
occultish.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And to keep it real, I don't really mind cults, but you know, Edge was in the Brood. Edge was in the Ministry of Darkness. So now he's just the leader of Judgment Day. It didn't really. Like, I could see him being like, "Oh, so I just moved up the ranks."
Like, it's like Jeff Jarrett running the NWO.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's like, fam, we get like, I'm cutting fire ass promos. I don't need to be Lucifer too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to be a spirit. I don't need to be an evil spirit. Like, I'm killing this shit. I'm wearing purple and black. It's lit. Like, that's it. Like, people like, and I could also see Edge again, multi-time world champion, Hall of Famer, come back from one of the most, difficult injuries in wrestling, period, to come back to this point, to now kind of be doing what other people have already been doing. Like, there's been a supernatural aspect to Bray Wyatt, aka The Fiend. There was one to Aleister Black and Malachi Black. There's one to The Undertaker, obviously. There's even Kane had some of that. It's like, damn, you just throwing me with just like redoing the supernatural shit again. Nah, I'm decent. Like, I'm decent. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. To me, him doing that, but them still going for it with the faction, it's like, yeah, you know what? Because that's a story in itself. It's like, man, I wouldn't know no devil shit. I just want y'all to be better, bro. Like,
yeah,
it's just like, it's kind of like the scene in House Party. Remember when Full Force was outside and my man grabbed the bats and he was like, yeah, bat, this is what I'm talking about. We about to beat some fucking ass. And he come out with the gasoline tank. He was like, whoa, what the fuck we doing with that? He was like, yo, we gonna burn it outside the house. They'll come run it out. And then we go beat it with the bats. He was like, whoa, I just wanted to whoop some fucking ass, not burn people up. Yeah. Like, fam, like you want to get life. I just wanted battery, bro. That was it. Like, we doing way too much.
Way too much.
So
that's fucked up. Hey, you're right. You 100% right. Look, fam. I'm 40. Mm-hmm. I almost said I was 39. I'm 40. You 41.
Count it up.
Yeah, I counted up. My cousins and I all in our late 30s, early 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And we remember watching Raw or SmackDown Royal Rumble when the Undertaker died. I talked about this famously on the pod, how we really thought the Undertaker was dead after the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Marks came to school, was like, gee, the Undertaker's dead. He floated,
Mm-hmm.
and he said he'll be back, but he dead. We thought that.
Mm-hmm.
My son at 7 could see that and look at me and be like, y'all thought he was dead? Y'all thought the Undertaker was dead after this.
Right.
Y'all wild. Y'all wild. I think kids these days are hip to this supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we know Kane wasn't out here really striking people with lightning. And we know y'all was doing that on cue. We know all of these things, Jack, because we got the WWE Network.
Right.
Our dad watched it, so we saw like Kane's the mayor in Tennessee now.
Yeah, Knoxville, Knox County.
Right, he's the mayor of Knox County, and he made Sean Waltman mad over his thoughts on gun control. So Kane's weird right now, ladies and gentlemen. The Undertaker's a little weird too, but you know what? He's the Undertaker, so
Right.
we get over it. You know what I'm saying? He's not outwardly with it like Kane
Right.
is. You know, he's just learning to be the Undertaker on social media. He ain't gonna be mean Mark Callis or
Right.
let alone Mark Calloway, and really let you know how he feel. He's just learning how to be the Undertaker on social media.
Right. Yeah.
So all this
Mark Kelly
supernatural,
stand his ground.
yeah, he gonna stand his ground. You know, we need all that. Now, I'm not even going further is what I want to say. You know, as what I told you off air, I want to apologize to Scott and Joe for my comments on Summer Sessions the other night.
Hey.
You know, still stand by him, but I just should have.
Hey, the real gonna last.
You're right.
The real gonna last.
The real gonna last. So I'm gonna last around here. But let's say, check that out on Patreon. You'll understand why. Or check out Some Dude Pod. If you ain't checked out this episode of Some Dude Pod, you'll understand how I was wilding. Shameless plug. But the kids don't need that witchcraft shit, fam.
No.
We don't need that. I'm with you. Judgment Day was nice just when he was yelling and talking shit about people. When he was talking about the mountain of Optimus or whatever it's called, whatever that shit's called that Edge was talking about, the mountain of Optimus or whatever. That's what I know.
Now you want to make me go back? I forgot.
It's something, but that's what I knew. They jumped the shark.
Yeah,
because it's like he started looking like Kevin Sullivan in Dungeon of Doom. He don't need to be the Dungeon of Doom, fam.
Nope.
He don't need that at all. Just, I'm helping out these young cats find their way. We gonna beat y'all ass and talk the end. Now, I am excited for Finn. I know you not from a microphone perspective.
Man, listen.
And I am from I'm excited from we get everything that we got with the old Finn back. The demon coming back. And here's the thing. I've always said that the demon should have been like, it should be like American Psycho.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like really, to me, the leader of Judgment Day, because of what Edge was rocking, it very much felt like, he was trying to be Damien Omen. Whereas Finn, to me, is definitely like English Psycho, or Scottish, the Ireland, wherever he's from, Psycho. Where he come through with the suit. This type of speaking works for him.
Yeah.
But then, if he really want to beat your ass, the demon comes out, and we get the demon back in a way that we should, because the demon is 0-2 in his last 2 matches.
Yeah. Jesus Christ beat the demon. So we are
right.
Per Roman Reigns.
Right.
Per Roman Reigns. Hey, God beat you though. God loved me more than you. So that's why you lost.
Right. So we could get the demon back in his full mode.
Yeah.
Now, the Damian Priest thing even works because I know I apologize for calling him Mexican Vampiro than Puerto Rican Vampiro.
Yeah.
But guess who's Puerto Rican Vampiro now?
Hey, yo, you just ahead of the curve.
Talk about full circle. You know what I'm saying? Talk about full circle.
Yeah,
He
man.
Puerto Rican Vampiro. Rhea Ripley, you just beating women's ass. So
she about to be the illest BDSM character ever.
Ever. Continue wearing those drawers.
Oh yeah, because once she started trying to do the Joker thing with her face, I was like, "Oh, you want to have like you ain't gonna come out with a rubber ball in your mouth, are you? Because I'm gonna have to pause the event." Shit. Shit. What the fuck are you doing?
Hold on, pause.
Yeah, it's like wait. Let me intake that.
Yeah, let
pause.
me breathe that in.
Yeah.
So I like it from that standpoint. I don't really want to hear Finn talk, but I think this type of Finn, works. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? I think you know what, Bang. I'm just going to hope that Finn Balor steps it up for me on the mic, because with everything you're saying and with Finn Balor being basically the dual character that he is,
right?
He is supposed to lead a faction like this.
Yeah,
like this is like it. And maybe they do need one more person. I just think it should be 4 of them, but 3 is still good. But yeah, everything about Finn Balor's character says that he should be the front man of a faction, especially if they're going the whole supernatural route, if they're going the whole, you dig. So,
and you petitioning Cedric Alexander to be that 4th.
Man,
tell us why.
I ain't gonna front after Hell in the Cell. And I think it was Raw when he was like, "Yo, I just gotta figure it out. I'm tired of being disrespected," or something like that. I was like, "Oh, hey, look, now if you want to join Judgment Day, let's fucking go." Because, hey, his resume is on par, or not, maybe even a touch better than for sure Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, Prime Cedric, it really got something there. It's just the Hurt Business shit then fell off. And honestly, with a guy like that doing most of the talking for that faction, I am not mad at it. Cedric Alexander on Judgment Day. Listen, you got 3 people from another country and a black man. He from another continent too, and another country. So shit. Why are we not doing it? My pick, this is not my guarantee or guarantee hope. My just pick that if Judgment Day is going to get another member, I want it to be Cedric Alexander, because Cedric, Rhea, Damian, and Finn do interest me together on some other shit.
All right, so let's move on to SmackDown real quick. And let me get my shit off real quick, Cam.
Let's go.
We've named episodes about it. We've talked about it at length. Mm-hmm. And I told y'all all to shut up. I told y'all all what it was going to be. I told y'all that when y'all say he was named one thing, I said that his original name, is just as Naziist. I'm going to make a word up. Naziist is the other name. I even said that the theme and everything and stuff, it was reminiscent of the Time Life videos about Nazis. You know what I'm saying? When they was talking about the Nazi regime and all of that stuff. Mm. I told y'all everything about that character screamed it. So he was in a no-win situation to begin with, especially where he's from. I told y'all that all he had to do was commit full-time to America, and you're going to see a star. I didn't tell him he had to lose weight, but no homo. He's looking as great as ever.
Yeah.
when he changed his name and was on NXT, y'all was chanting the old name, disrespecting his change, and y'all was saying that he was going to come to the main roster when he did, and Vince McMahon was going to bury him. This is when I tell all of y'all to please shut the hell up. Because my man Gunther is now your Intercontinental Champion.
There it is.
I told y'all he was going to slap Ricochet into another continent. He was going to slap Ricochet and make the ancestors proud. And boy, did he do it.
Man, buddy.
Now, I ain't talking about Martin Luther King Jr. and them, ladies and gentlemen. He slapped the shit out of Ricochet. Walter Gunther, made the ancestors proud. And with my man Ludwig, he is now the Intercontinental Champion. Here's my guarantee, my guaranteed hope, my guaranteed prayer. The same type of title reign that you see from Roman Reigns, I predict that Gunther will become the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. I predict he's going to break the Honky Tonk Man's record.
Wow.
Who gonna stop him, fam?
Great question.
Who gonna stop him?
Great question. And you know what? It makes sense for this climate because you can throw Gunther at the main event and you good because people will tune in to watch him slap the shit out of somebody's chest.
Bruh, he got it. According to reports, Vince McMahon is in love at the way that he's gotten in shape, moving to the United States, the whole name change. Gunther has literally did everything needed. And he didn't have to, the whole moving to the U.S. thing, he didn't have to do it. I still stand on it. Coochie was the reason why he moved.
Hey, you want to get a real man out of bed sometimes. It's going to be money or that.
It's going to be money and cooch. Money or gooch. It's one of the two. Then he got himself in shape. He was cool with the name change. He ain't tweak. See, I'm really about to go in now.
Yeah, please, because I know where you're going. Please.
It's not about playing ball to me. It's about listening, trying, and giving it full effort.
Yes.
All right. Now, if you try, you give it full effort and it don't work out, do your thing. And I also believe that Gunther is in a position to where anything would have worked for him, especially in this climate and the way that Vince McMahon historically has used wrestlers from a different nation. And he ain't even did the USA versus me shit.
Right.
He ain't got to.
Nope.
What I'm saying is that Vince McMahon and company gave him a name, didn't really change anything after that. He lost weight. He came to the crib. If some of those people who left the WWE to go to AEW did the same thing, they'd still be here.
Yeah, man.
They'd still be in the WWE. Now, I'm good. I'm glad that some of these same people that left has found their version of success
right
up in AEW. But some of those same people that left are not even mid-card.
Right.
They just there.
Right.
Gunther is your Intercontinental Champion, and you can tell that they're slow building him.
Yeah.
To get to a point where he's going to be one of their biggest stars, one of their biggest heels. And I'm telling you, the first part of that, he's holding the Intercontinental Championship longer than the Honky Tonk Man. The other part of that is, and I didn't think about this until Gunther, but really starting since the New Day, it was time to get these old marks out of here with these records. And it's time to bring some of these new people in here. That shit really started with the New Day.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And
Shit Demolition had that was their record from the 80s.
Man. So I think, and that's why you even start to see them say modern era in the WWE is 1998 on to now. So it's now time to get some of these old records out. The Honky Tonk Man one is really the last one standing.
Yeah.
Gunther is going to break that record. And when he breaks that record, he's going to be one of the biggest wrestlers in the WWE. And we know he can do it because he was the first NXT UK champion. He held that mark for a couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm telling y'all, it is the rise of Gunther. It is the age of Cody. You're starting to see new things come out there. And if Roman Reigns really wants to take that part-time break and really be on it, Vince McMahon is building towards that. All right, this is what we on. We got to prepare for it. We still go because if you look at the ratings, it ain't really hurt on SmackDown like people think it would. And on Raw, shit, Cody improved that Raw rating after tearing this joint up.
Yeah. I want to sidebar real quick on just short-sightedness.
All right.
Of wrestlers, because everything in my mind tells me that Vince and Roman Reigns knew this play was happening as far as what they were going to do. And Vince was asking certain wrestlers to do X, Y, Z because, hey, you're going to be on deck. And I think a lot of the newer wrestlers being like, from the indie circuit, from that, the 5-star match guys that really didn't come up in those pro wrestling systems and being trained. All they saw was, but Roman Reigns has beaten everybody for 2 years. Versus, hey, they're about to elevate him so high that he's just not even going to be on TV every week. He won't even be at every pay-per-view. So now I got to step up and I'll get my time. And I think also that people have relied too much on if it ain't broke, don't fix it, versus remembering where Vince started, bigger, badder, better. And it's like, yeah, I'm not saying what you doing ain't working, but I'm saying if you just listen to me real quick, just listen to me, you gonna get higher than you think you at. Like, you're gonna get way higher than that. Where you going, you'll get there faster than me, and people will remember it. And I think that is the Achilles heel of a lot of wrestlers that have played the indie game and now have been receiving network major money. Because now, hey, look, man, well, I got here doing this, but meanwhile, all the future endeavors, all the acts to be released, all of the just fall by the waysides, none of them are doing better than the guys that stayed or came back. None of them. And it ain't even close. One was a partner and an owner, and he's doing better that he left. Like, and that's just it. So now what? You know what I'm saying? Like, now what? Because all of the knocks about the Performance Center, all the knocks about the card and the pay-per-views and who their real target audience is, what you're seeing right now still is the best sports entertainment is still happening with different players, even from 12 months ago. And yet new stars have been created or elevated since that time.
Yeah. So I expect big things from Gunther. I expect so much, and I might be wrong. I might be. But to throw out a couple of names, this ain't like Ezekiel Jackson winning the Intercontinental Championship.
No, not at all.
This ain't like Big E's first reign.
Yeah.
This ain't like Apollo's first reign. This ain't like Big E's. I think one of the things that I've been bitching about is the return to prominence to some of the mid-card titles.
Yeah.
I think with Gunther, you automatically get new found responsibility and a bigger profile to the Intercontinental Championship that Ricochet was giving you. Because Ricochet was giving me old 1990s Fatu vibes with that Intercontinental Championship. Like, you know, he was giving me like placeholder anyway. And the reason why I said that Fatu vibes because I saw something on Instagram where he was like in the streets talking about some why he deserved it. And I'm like, nah, fam, this seems like Fatu coming from the mean streets of San Francisco. Stop playing.
And being stabbed in the stomach.
Right. So stop
he
playing.
He survived and now he's in the WWF at the time.
Nah. And wrestling with boots. And then the homies came down the aisle like, nah, fam, why is you trying to, it was wild. Yeah, it was wild. That was a wild time too. That was a wild time too. But yeah, it's just like newfound prominence to that belt. And I think he's going to give you that. Now, we could only get that for the United States Championship. Because again, I don't think Theory needs it. That is why. I think you need somebody that's going to bring that belt to prominence. Somebody like The Miz, that when he holds that belt, he's going to show you the reason why he's holding that belt. Or maybe even Ali. But
can I throw salt in the wound real quick?
Let's go.
That could have been Adam Cole.
Yeah, it could have been Keith Lee.
Whatever though. Because look, Adam Cole being the longest reigning U.S. champion or whatever, and just holding that belt until it's time to get into the main event picture. That's what. Fuck all that shit that y'all read. That's what I think Vince McMahon wanted.
I said it on here that he could get one of those mid-card championships. And
yeah, well, hey,
But who am I? Who are we? We're just First Black Chat. Make sure you rate, like, subscribe, download wherever you get your favorite podcast. Shouts out to the Barbershop Digital.
Yeah.
And that's where all of our podcasts are at. So if you search Barbershop Digital, you can check us out there. You can check us out on Twitch and YouTube, the What Digital. Sir. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, rate, all of those things. What else we got? Going back to Raw. Bianca Belair has a new opponent. She has a new challenger, and that challenge is going to take place at Money in the Bank, apparently. But after beating up on Edge and everything, and Finn Balor taking over the Judgment Day, Rhea Ripley will now be going up against Bianca Belair for the Women's Championship. Two things here, Camp. I know what we just said about Finn Balor.
Yeah.
You know what? It would actually be dope if Rhea Ripley was the leader of the Judgment Day.
True.
Like that would be real Judgment Day to me. And they still do what they do. And one of the reasons why I'm saying that is not just because who Rhea Ripley is. It's who Rhea Ripley will be going up against. And I still state this. Bianca Belair is number one in the company. She's number one in the company. She's not 1A because Roman Reigns ain't been around for about a month and a half. So she's not 1A. She's not 1B. She's not 1C. I believe that Bianca Belair is at the top of the heap in the WWE. So she's at the top of the heap in the WWE to me. The person who's going after her belt that's in the faction that the faction just got created should lead the faction. So that's my thought process for Rhea Ripley. At the same time, man, I think that's just too early to get Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. Right. I was thinking SummerSlam, not Money in the Bank for this right here, which leads me to believe that we're probably going to get somebody returning to go up against Bianca Belair at SummerSlam. However, do you think this is too early for Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair?
No, I don't think so. Based on the state that the women's division is in, specifically on Raw. I mean, we can't forget the original audible was Naomi and Sasha Banks were going to be incorporated here somewhere, somehow. But I also don't think it's too early because you have Rhea Ripley back on fire again. And what better way to test how hot she is than to put her with the hottest? You know, I do think they made a mistake early with Rhea Ripley because I thought Charlotte Rhea Ripley was way too early.
Okay.
Oh, it was way too early. You know, I would have honestly, Charlotte Rhea Ripley should be happening next year for me personally, because look what happened after it. Like literally nothing but her carrying other girls that may not have been as hot as her in an effort to get them over. So this is, to me, I think this is right on time because they don't want to run too stagnant on Becky Bianca because that looks like that's just going to be a forever thing with them. But I'm not ruling out Asuka Bianca Belair at SummerSlam still because they fought on Raw, but you know, we already know how high stakes pay-per-views is, especially marquee pay-per-views go. And Asuka deserves that, but Asuka also has to build her way back up into that mix to where we really give a damn about Asuka every single week. She was still my original MVP she was still my original most improved during the pandemic, with Bayley being the MVP. You know, it would be too early for that. But I think Rhea, and even them running it back at SummerSlam, based on whatever we think is going to happen with Judgment Day, because I'm also thinking Judgment Day is about to get elevated even more now that we know the play and we know what's supposed to happen with them. I just expect them to get stronger. So, yeah, Money in the Bank is a perfect time. Like, hey, look, we're going to hard stop, and this is what we're about to do now. That edges out. So, I don't think it's too early, though. I think it's right on time based on where both of those ladies are and where the women's division is.
See, this is where we disagree today. And I think part of the reason why I'm disagreeing is because what I had said earlier about multiple feuds within the women's division. And also with that is Charlotte don't need to be in every championship match.
Facts.
And I got a feeling we're gonna get Charlotte versus Bianca Belair at SummerSlam. See, because Bianca Belair said that she wanted to get at the other 4 horsewomen. If you look at it, she's beaten Becky Lynch now. She's beaten Sasha Banks. Both of those at WrestleMania. She's beaten Bayley, Hell in a Cell. So now the only one that's left, Charlotte. I got a feeling that's going to happen. I not only got a feeling that that's going to happen at SummerSlam, I got a feeling that she's going to lose the title to that person at SummerSlam.
Shit.
Like SummerSlam is going to be her Achilles heel, if you know what I mean, which would be gross. Which would be gross. Be gross as hell. So that's what scares me. That that Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair is happening at Money in Vegas and not Nashville, because they want them to wrestle. And I think it's now time to put Rhea Ripley up a notch, and not let her be second tier or even third tier. Because right now it's Bianca Belair in my eyes, and then it's the Charlottes, the Baileys, the Sashas, and then you got like the other tier. Like and as you continue to keep giving those same women the opportunities, it's not elevating the other ones. And then plus that's kind of what a lot of people wanted anyway, when like at the beginning of the year, especially when the WrestleMania thing happens, like, oh shit, Highway to Hell type shit.
Right.
Undertaker versus Stone Cold, Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. So that's why I think it's too early. I get what you're saying. It's just I'm afraid of what's going to happen when it's somebody else versus Bianca Belair. I'm not even opposed to Rhea Ripley defeating Bianca Belair, and she having to get it back at SummerSlam. But I'd rather see those two at SummerSlam than see Charlotte come back from her
Man, yeah.
I thought he was gonna be a multiple time champion in somewhere now. No, they got a whole new belt now, that the All Atlantic belt that he's not even gonna touch. I think Miro is gonna take that one. And Miro is the only former WWE person that I like in AEW. Let me say that too.
Okay.
And he's the only one that when I see him on screen, I'd be like, why y'all playing? Why he ain't got no belt?
Yeah, man.
And I ain't talking about the TNT championship either. Like, Miro should be beating the shit out of somebody. But, when he had the TNT belt, I forgot who he lost it to. Then he said that God let him down. Yeah. Now he's telling God that now he want God's spot. And he beat the shit out of Johnny Nitro, a.k.a. Johnny, what's that Monday night? Whatever his name, John Morrison. Yeah, the Monday Night Delight. I was trying to figure out, I forgot what his name was when he was just like
the Shaman of Sexy, I think.
Oh. Yeah, but he beat up the Shaman of Sexy, all of that. And he's now in the All Elite Wrestling All Atlantic Championship, aka the Intercontinental Championship in my eyes of AEW. And the TNT Championship is the TV Championship. So I see y'all AEW. I fuck with it. Intercontinental Championship, but I like him when they let him rock. He's the only former WWE person that I like. And like, you stay there. Don't come back. Stay right there, because I like this version of you. With that being said, I digress. I hope they don't do Bianca like that and have her go up against Charlotte. At least not now. Because I'm not against them two wrestling. I'm against them two wrestling at SummerSlam.
I got you. Yeah.
Like, Bianca and Charlotte
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, Bianca and Charlotte is WrestleMania.
Yeah, it is.
So that's another reason why.
But see, I think elevation will be somebody's gonna get elevated here. Or we all know they're not above booking the trilogy for 3 pay-per-views. We've seen it. We've seen it too many times.
We've seen it with Seth without a belt.
Right.
Twice in a row.
So yeah. So I'm not even so I definitely feel what you're saying, and I do think Bianca does need a big time opponent, but they're gonna do something to elevate her. And I think Bianca's ready to elevate somebody else. So, I don't think it's Charlotte though. I think that will make its way though. Charlotte Bianca is going to happen. It's just they're not going to waste that just because. Because the minute Charlotte expecting, I don't think she's gonna be coming back to wrestling. So there's my other just sidebar. Guaranteed, hey, it could happen.
All right. And the last thing on the docket, man. Shouts out to this man. I said that if they really want to put somebody over last week, the man who should take the belt from Roman Reigns should be Riddle. Well, Riddle is going to get his title shot because Riddle defeated
Sami Zayn.
Uso and Bloodline affiliates. It's like Wu-Tang. Like the Swarm, Sami Zayn, the Swarm. The Shaheem of the of the Bloodline. Sami Zayn, he defeated him. If Sami Zayn would have won, Riddle would have been banned from SmackDown. Whereas if Riddle won, and he did win, he would get a title shot, a world title shot for Roman Reigns. And I don't know when they're going to do it, because, word on the street is that Roman Reigns will not be wrestling at Money in the Bank. So it's looking like this is probably going to be a SmackDown quality world championship match. I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't know if the dirt sheets are wrong in this Roman Reigns thing or not. With that being said, how excited are you to see Roman Reigns and Riddle lock up for the undisputed, unified WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship? of the world.
Right. My excitement will be based on destination. So what I'm literally telling you all right now is that if this ain't happening at SummerSlam, I do not give a fuck. That is my hard and direct answer, because they're both above the whole we gonna do this on the SmackDown on like June 24th. Yeah, fuck all of that. Roman Reigns will be like, okay, he lost. First, what we gonna do, we gonna beat the shit out of Sami Zayn and get him out the fucking paint. That's what we gonna. I got other shit to take care of. Who the fuck are you to even be talking about what I'm about to do with my belt? We gonna take care of you.
And I did say that I believe that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn is going to dethrone the Usos for the championships.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a keep going.
Yeah. So then he was like, so then when I finish that, then we'll get to you, Riddle. And you know what? That's going to take me about 60 days. Like, so yeah, you got your shot. I'll whoop your ass because Randy ain't here. Like, yeah, it's so cool. You know what I'm saying? I want you to sit and think about that. You're not going to do shit. I'm going to beat your ass. But we're going to wait. We're going to do it when I say we do it, because this is my show. This is my ring. This is my WWE. You don't tell me when I'm defending my belt. I let you know when to show up to get your ass whooped while I leave with my belts. That's what happens here. So if we not building a story that says that, I don't give a fuck what's going on.
Hey man, that's about as point blank as you can get. So I got a theory that I'm gonna throw out there.
Mm-hmm.
Roman Reigns is going to have the match with Riddle. He's gonna beat the mess out of Riddle. They're gonna put Riddle out of action. And that's how we're gonna get Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam in Nashville.
Oh, you think he's coming back that soon?
Well, that's the word. The word is that that's the match for that they've set up, that they've marked down for SummerSlam. Randy Orton and Roman Reigns, which would be very special. We'll tell you about that when it's time.
Yeah, it would.
No, so it'll be special. For us Randy Orton fans. And we're, like I said, we'll tell you more when it's time. With that being said, you need a reason. You need a Apollo Creed to take the fall for Rocky to get back in the ring. If what you're hearing is that Randy Orton might not come back, Randy Orton might be done, injuries and all of those things. Again, you need Apollo Creed to get Rocky to step up in the ring against the Tribal Chief. That's what happens. But also, to your point, Sami Zayn gets his ass whooped for allowing this to happen. Usos deliver that message. Kevin Owens say, hey, that's my friend. And that's when you get Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos for the tag team championships. Ladies and gentlemen, I just gave you 3 matches for SummerSlam in one episode.
There you go.
Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns for the title. The Usos versus the real best friends.
Right. Right.
The tag team championships.
Talk about it.
And Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's Championships.
Hey, Nissan Stadium. You do that at Nissan Stadium. Like, no bull. You do that at Nissan Stadium.
It's lit. So that right there, it's just one of the reasons why I'm cool with the Riddle thing. And then plus, I think these last couple of weeks, man, Riddle has been most improved. I think Riddle turned himself into a star. I think him and I still believe that Theory and Riddle will be wrestling at WrestleMania one day. Riddle is another one, because if you think about it, man, when Riddle got moved up to the main roster, people were iffy.
Yeah.
They were iffy, and then all of that shit happened, in his personal life.
Yeah.
I did see a rumor he took his kid to the strip club one day. I don't know if that's true or not, but hey, wow.
And you know what? And to your point, Bang, with all that happening, I was like, oh, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I I think we both thought he was going to be fine. I didn't think world championship match fine though.
I'm going to tell you, I'm not this soon, but
this soon.
But you know, this really truly explains why I really do believe Randy Orton and Matt Riddle are best friends in real life. Like, he's like, yo, I'm him, but he's RVD-ish. But I think that's kayfabe, the RVD shit. I think this kid is me. And I now have to do for him what Triple H did for me, because this can go way different if he has what I got right now.
I 100% agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I 1000% agree with you on that one. I think Randy Orton may have saved that man's WWE career, and in turn reinvigorated him.
Yeah, man.
Because this is the most fun that Randy Orton has had.
Yeah.
Probably since he's been in the WWE.
Right.
His words, not ours. So that's again one of the, to continue the Apollo Creed. He's Apollo Creed. He's going to take that L, and it's going to influence Randy to come back. And then when Randy comes back, we get to see old, calculated Randy go up against Roman Reigns in a match that won. We haven't really seen since, it was like the Shield versus Evolution. So we know they could go. We haven't really seen them two go at it really hard since then.
Right.
And then now you get to see that in a main event, and we know Randy Orton is going to show up, and Randy Orton is going to show up to, in honor of his partner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited. If that were to happen like that, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see Riddle in this type of light too, because I think this is the litmus test for him. If the world championship title picture, ladies and gentlemen, is about to start changing. You're going to start seeing the Riddles and others like him, the Bobby Lashleys and all of that. Once the titles break up again, you're going to start seeing them in the title picture. We got to get them ready while we got both of them on Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's still a shocking to say, Cody Rhodes is at the top of the heap right now. But your Riddles, your Bobby Lashleys, your Theories, hell, I mean, even though you taking these L's, your Omos's, and
Seth and AJ.
Yeah, not even Seth and AJ. Because they've been there for a while.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. Yeah. You're talking about the next guys.
Yeah, I'm talking about these next guys up blending in with the Seths and the AJs and the Randy Ortons and stuff like that. And then you looking at the Gunthers who are growing. You look at NXT, and I wonder, do they still see what they see in Braun Breaker? If they see that, and other people like who may come
right
to the WWE. Like an MJF.
Yeah, because there's that clock ticking.
Yeah, clock ticking, fam. Like an MJF.
Hey, if we get the SummerSlam debut,
hey man.
Right. Whatever. Let me just chill.
All I'm saying is you're gonna start to see. Oh, and I didn't see this, but Ross had threw it out there. He said he heard a rumor that they bringing Big Cass out to help out Edge at Judgment Day.
Yeah.
After Big Cass performed at AEW. Reportedly, there was a lot of phone calls. They was like, "Yo, he looked real good."
And he look like Edge too.
He do too. He look real. He do. I ain't even think about that until you said it. It's like that's his big cousin. But like he looked good. He's sober. He has the height and the size and the look they got. So this in 2023, because I've always said this. We are halfway into the year, which means that we should already be thinking about the next year.
Yeah, facts.
You should already be preparing for next year.
This also made me think I want to see Cass and Corey Graves. I want to see Cass and Corey Graves. We gotta see it, Vince. Yeah, Vince. If you did it, do what you did for Matt and Adam. That you're gonna do.
Go back to the Indies, bitch.
You know what I'm saying?
Cam trying to get somebody killed over Carmelo.
He gotta do it.
Yeah, man. You got the returns of people like, possible return for Cass. You got like, MJF. This 2023-2024 is going to reshape how we look at the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
So be ready. You ain't shit though.
Hey, listen. Hey, you know what? What's so crazy with that now to think about it? Because Corey Graves always wanted Enzo and Cass to break up anyway. Hey, but we didn't know that he met the girl too. He's like, look, I broke up your team, I took your girl, and you needed rehab and a makeover, bro. Like, I'm up, and I ain't wrestled in years.
And he's cleared to wrestle.
Yeah, and he cleared.
Let it be known.
Cleared.
Let it be known. He cleared the wrestle. So
hey, this feud will be for everybody that really hate Corey Graves but can't do shit.
Man.
Because Cass felt the same way.
Dang, fam.
Let's go. Vince, Bruce, book it.
Book it. Make it happen, Captain.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, oh man, this man campaign shit. He trying to bring the metal issues straight to Raw.
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Y'all said y'all want reality in y'all wrestling, right?
Hey.
It ain't just for Booker T.
No, it's not, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, man. That's about it, man. That's about it. In AEW news, CM Punk broke his foot.
Yeah,
so he had to he didn't let go of the title. He's going to hold the title and they're gonna get an interim champion.
Mm-hmm.
They do that over there. They do an interim championship. So within that interim championship, they did a small tournament that a lot of people call bullshit on, because it boosted Jon Moxley up to the number 1 seed, even though Wardlow was the number 1 contender according to things before. But on this one though, I don't blame Tony Khan for doing the common sense thing. Thank you for not doing the dummy and saying we're gonna have Wardlow and like Adam Cole. Even reportedly, Adam Cole's injured too. He got a number of injuries. I mean, a lot of when you do the spots you do, you end up with like torn the Abrams, torn the MCLs, a strain the back.
Seen the Abram, so yeah.
Yeah, I think mine's is torn. I can't throw a football for after 5 minutes.
Jeez.
But hey, I'm not doing spots. That's crazy. That's just life and over time. But Jon Moxley, Kyle O'Reilly won the Battle Royal, which let us know the fix was in.
Yeah. Love Kyle O'Reilly though.
Love him. But that let us know the fix was in. And then on AEW, Jon Moxley defeated Kyle O'Reilly and made him to on his side. But then in Japan, they had 2 matches. Tanahashi wrestled Goto, and Tanahashi won. He was originally supposed to go up against CM Punk, so we already know what was going on there. So Tanahashi versus Jon Moxley for the AEW Interim World Championship at Forbidden Door in Chicago at the United Center. I've already made my prediction. I think Tanahashi is going to be the interim AEW championship. AEW champion. They're gonna get that. They're gonna get that Tatsumi Fujinami on. Right here.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. They're not gonna break the story that was already building. You know what I'm saying? And it's better for him to beat Jon Moxley than it is for him to beat Wardlow or Scorpio Sky or just anybody else. Like he can't beat MJF.
I still say that was bullshit. I think it's bullshit that MJF wasn't in this battle royal. I think it would have done numbers for them to see that man come back at the same time, I don't think that him going up against somebody, at New Japan Pro Wrestling was going to make a big difference because his feud is with AEW.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, and they have a new championship, the All Atlantic Championship, which to me is their version of the Intercontinental Championship. And I've already said that, I mean, it really doesn't matter who's all in it, but just to see if Cam knows these people. Because he doesn't know all of these people at AEW.
Good reason.
For the joints. So in the qualifiers, Pac wrestled Buddy Matthews and he defeated Buddy Matthews.
Wow, really?
Yes, he did. Ethan Page wrestled. Ethan Page wrestling against Miro, and I said, Miro, go ahead and give him that. Penta, who is one of the guys, in the Lucha Bros, the one with the real demonic looking mask, is going up against Malachi Black.
Okay, we know how that's gonna go.
And you have two wrestlers that have yet to be determined to make that final spot. The winner will get the belt at Forbidden Door in Chicago. But yeah, the belt, and everything, the whole thing is the Intercontinental Championship. To me, it's a nice looking belt. I'll say this: AEW ain't got no ugly belts, so that's how that goes right there. That's that match. So, and that's why I think Miro should be, unless somebody new pops up. Unless they have somebody new pop up to try to win that championship that defected from the WWE. I don't know who else. But unless that happens, then we have that. But I do have one beef.
What's
with that? And I think we all know that beef, man. We mentioned him earlier. Keith Lee over there at AEW ain't getting no run. No run, fam.
I mean, but hey, him and Swerve are the best duo in wrestling today, right? Right?
I guess.
I mean, again, man. And listen, no, because Vince paying more. So no, I can't even say. I get this about being the money. I even get this about being happy, but when do happiness and complacency meet? And we decide what street we on. You know what I mean?
Ooh, that's a bar. Say that again.
Where does a happiness and complacency meet before we figure out, what road we really on? And I think Keith Lee needs to answer those kind of questions. I mean, look, when you work, my thought process is that in any industry, if you work for the number one company, you do work harder than everybody else in that industry because you're in the number one company. The Amazon people do work harder than the people at Walmart. The McDonald's people do work harder than the people at rallies. It's, it's just kind of one of those things. The Foot Locker and Champs was always busier than Foot Action. And that's why ain't no more Foot Actions. You dig what I'm saying? It's unfortunate because Keith Lee specifically, just 3 years ago, was in the conversation of next world champion, next guy to be main eventer, top contender, to every time I see a clip of him, Swerve using him as a prop. So, fam, you that's what you wanted? That's what you wanted to leave for? Okay. Best of luck in your future endeavors, bro.
Yeah, man. I don't want to be those guys. And you know what I'm talking about, man. I don't want to be I don't want to be those guys, man, where where you have people shooting on people because they leave companies, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be like that for AW.
Nah.
I don't want to be like that for WWE. All I could do is look at what they're doing in one place compared to the other,
Mm-hmm.
give my opinion on it. They probably have a difference of opinion, which in their case it would be fact.
Right.
Because for anybody to say, "Oh man, Keith Lee this, that, and the third," but then Keith Lee comes out and say, you know, contrary to your belief, I'm actually having the time of my life here, working with my friends, and yada yada yada. Once that's said, who am I to say anything different?
Facts. Facts. Very fair. Very
So,
fair.
so until I hear different, until I hear different, I'm gonna say this. Keith Lee has to tell me. Keith Lee has to tell me that he was so unhappy, so very unhappy at the WWE that he had to leave. Because I would take the Keith Lee that what's my man name? The what was the nickname he had before he left?
Bearcat.
The Bearcat Keith Lee. I'll take Bearcat Keith Lee over what I'm seeing right now. I would take Bearcat Keith Lee over this shit that I'm seeing right now. Because it didn't hit home to me until you said Swerve using him as a prop. Because then at the Battle Royal, the Casino Royale, whatever they call that shit, Swerve threw him out the ring.
Can't jump off him in this environment.
Like, right. So look, man, I have so much respect for the homie that, to me, he should be more. He should be the United States champ right now.
Yeah.
Where Gunther is right now, that should be Keith Lee.
Yeah, man.
But it's not. And maybe it's because I don't know. Maybe it's because they ain't know how to talk to a black man. Maybe they thought he needed to lose a bit of weight, and he's like, "Nah, I'm straight." I don't know what it was. Maybe he just didn't like the Bearcat shit. He didn't like things, and he was like, "Yo, I'm just gonna move on." I don't know what it was. But looking from the outside looking in, I'd rather have Bearcat Keith Lee than what I'm seeing right now. Because Keith Lee came over there, and to me, has been forgotten.
Yeah, man. And it's super unfortunate. And I get we are in a post-pandemic, post-Black Lives Matter, very sensitive time, but the dangerous narrative that I even watch myself, even as I talk to other Black people about their jobs, their careers, and just when they're out, we got to make sure that we're not becoming so sensitive that we're making everything about race and how to deal with me, talk to me, negotiate with me, offer me because I am Black.
Right.
Obviously it's a very real thing, but at the same time, I think we do get into this trick bag, if you will, of, am I just being offended because that's what I'm supposed to be right now? Or is this just honest critique and criticism and I just need to push it to a next level?
Right.
And just in personal, professional life, watching wrestling, anything, I've been seeing that. It's like, man, are we really being ostracized to this level? Or have we just given up on the grind, so to speak? You know what I'm saying? Are we just like, but I'm black and you see what we going through now? Give it to me. And it's like, that's where shit gets tricky for me. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. I look. If Keith Lee was gonna leave, man, he was better suited going with his wife in Impact.
Yeah, facts.
I just don't like seeing Keith Lee where he at, G. And that's my thing. I think very highly of the man as a wrestler. I truly believe that he can be a big star in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
But with me saying that, I'm looking like a dunce cap. I'm looking like a dunce cap and a dummy because where he at on the card.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that nobody can dispute. Because I know somebody's gonna listen to this that's an AEW fan and be like, you know, he's wrestling, he's out there, he has a great tag team with Swerve. I'm not saying it because he's black,
right,
but I'll take Swerve and Keith Lee over Ice Train and Ricky Starks, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I take them over the Luchasaurus and Tarzan.
Jungle Boy.
The Jungle Boy, my bad.
I'm a Jungle Boy.
But, and we saw them in a triple threat match. That Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus won. And then the next week, you see Swerve throw him out instead of the two black brothers joining together. I'm sorry, man. It's starting to look like there was a big ass mistake for Keith Lee to go to AEW. I'm not saying it was a big mistake for him to leave the WWE.
Right.
I'm saying where he went.
Yeah. He didn't give himself the best option. He just gave himself the obvious option.
Because the thing here that I'm going to say, and then we can end this off, is that some people say the grass ain't greener, or the grass might not be greener on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I agree with that to a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
It's really based on where you go.
Yeah.
And not necessarily you leaving in the first place. Mm-hmm. If Keith Lee felt like it was important for him to leave the WWE, that's one thing. I'm just not sure he went to the right destination.
Right.
Because even in NXT, he's bigger there than what he's doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if that was the issue about if it was an issue about where you at on the card and all those things, or the Bearcat, over there, you ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
Over here, you were. Mm-hmm. Even in a loss, you were. Mm-hmm. So that's what concerns me about the Keith Lee shit. I don't feel like a man that big, that strong, that fast, that charismatic should be where he at right now. And yet, look where we at.
That's fair.
So
very fair.
All right, man. Do you have any more guarantees?
Yes. My official guarantee for this week is surrounding newlywed Alexa Bliss.
Okay.
Alexa Bliss has main card championship music now. You dig what I'm saying? And
championship music, as you said.
Yeah. She got championship music, man. If you just listen to it, if it feels very infectious, like in that Cody vein almost. But what I do see happening specifically at this very moment, though, is that Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan will be the women's tag team champions. Whether it's a tournament or a match that's disguised as a tournament, it's gonna happen. And but you know what? I think that is being the Alexa Bliss being the perfect person to get Liv Morgan to the next level. Because she's already in another gear than she was when she was with the Riot Squad, but I think she's even improved off of that. And I think nobody better to help her than the girl that she's about the same size as. She may even be a little bigger than, but Alexa's moveset, I think, is a little tad underrated in some regard.
Okay.
But I do think that they can help each other out. Because the women's division is kind of turning into the land of the giants. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bianca Belair is not a small woman. Neither is Doudrop, obviously. Rhea Ripley, Charlotte. Ronda Rousey is presented as being larger than life. Raquel Rodriguez, Shotzi. Like, yeah, Shayna Baszler. Like, there's not a lot of small and petite, or as Black Youngster would say, skinny petite things. It ain't a lot of them no more.
Right.
And the best thing for them present day might be to team up. I see that happening because when you look at all the women in the divisions right now, nobody makes more sense from a PR standpoint holding the belts than Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan.
Okay. Pretty much said mine. But yeah, Cody Rhodes, man, I think that he is the John Cena of this day. So we should have that match. I think Gunther is gonna hold. But the big one that's I think out of everyone that I said today, I think the big one is for me is that Gunther will hold the Intercontinental Championship longer than the Honky Tonk Man, thus defeating his record. So you might as well go ahead and start the Hunkometer countdown, ladies and gentlemen, because Gunther will be blasting that record to smithereens. I think he's going to be the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. All right, man. The new thing that we're going to be doing on the pod is giving y'all something to watch. A lot of people come to us, to throw out, a pay-per-view or a premium live event, that they should watch and everything. So coming up on these episodes, we're going to give you all some of those to watch, man, to see if y'all seen them, get a new set of eyes on them. You might watch it now and be like, yo, this shit was huff as hell. Or you might watch it and be like, yo, man, this shit was actually doper than I thought it was. So I'll start with you, Cam. What is an event, premium live event, pay-per-view, TV event? Give us something to watch between now and the next pod.
Okay. I would. You know what? I think you can't go wrong right now picking anything from the year 2000, the WrestleMania 2000 year era, like run. I say that because you're kind of in that same time again. You're in that time where WCW is on the downs, WWE is on the up, a lot of fresh new young talent, a lot of new not pay-per-views, I'm sorry. But yeah, no, new pay-per-views are starting to come around and stay around, and new ideas are coming, and you're getting a good glimpse at the future. And I only say that, and I mean you can check out WrestleMania 2000, you can check out that SummerSlam or Survivor Series. I say all of that because it will shape your mind to get you adjusted to what you're literally watching right now. Because AEW is trying to come up on the ups, even though it is a little down due to all the injuries, like Ross had pointed out, and just mismanagement of people. But you also look at the new faces that are about to take over as guys get older and get out. I can't put my finger on one specific event, but I mean, shoot, we know the history. A year later, Vince owns every fucking thing. and shit changes again. So I say check out just the year that WWE had in 2000, as well as check out the Nitros of the last year leading into that, and see the kind of changes that they were making. A lot of shit that was happening 22 years ago is happening right now, just under the radar and in different federations as well.
All right, man. I'm going to throw out King of the Ring 2001.
Okay.
I think it's definitely a very underrated pay-per-view. I don't think it gets talked about for pay-per-view as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
It gets talked about because of Kurt Angle and Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. You don't talk about it much after that. Because when you think about it, man, when you think about it like this, you had Kurt Angle wrestling Christian, and then he wrestled Edge and lost. But then he had the street fight against Shane McMahon, where he damn near killed Shane McMahon. So we don't talk about that much. But then also, I don't think like the Stone Cold Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho match was actually decent. But then Chris Jericho broke Chris Benoit's neck that night. So it was a lot of stuff going on that night to me. And this was to me the beginning of the end of the King of the Ring as we knew it. Because we did have one more, King of the Ring pay-per-view after that. And that was Brock Lesnar versus Rob Van Dam, where Brock Lesnar went on to win it, and then he went on to defeat The Rock at SummerSlam for it. But to me, that was the beginning of the end, because I don't remember Edge getting a title shot for winning the King of the Ring that year. I think maybe because he hurt his neck or whatever, that might have been the reason, whatever. But I think that gave a reason for us to be like, we don't necessarily need the King of the Ring, and then they end up damn near replacing the thought process with having the pay-per-view happen in order for somebody to win an opportunity at a championship to Money in the Bank. I miss the King of the Ring. I used to love the King of the Ring, and I'm not talking about a series of matches and then at a random pay-per-view they wrestle for it. No, I miss the actual pomp and circumstance of the King of the Ring pay-per-view. It gets no better than specialty pay-per-views that have a reason behind them. That's why the Money in the Bank is dope right now. But I like seeing people wrestle 2 or 3 times throughout the night, to with an end goal at winning something. That's why WrestleMania 4 is my favorite pay-per-view, and I wouldn't mind them doing another version of that at WrestleMania for the title. So, yes,
I dig it. I was looking at the No Way Out 2000 card. A lot of weird stuff happened.
You know what? I think it's Armageddon 2000.
I think it is. That might be the one I'm really looking for.
I think that's Armageddon 2000.
Because I forget that this is the start of the year, like 98 to 2000 is when they started adding all of those. Everything everything was in your house this, in your house that, and then it was like now we on some other shit.
No, it's Armageddon 2000 where they had the 6-man Hell in a Cell match. Kurt Angle, The Rock, Rikishi, Stone Cold, Triple H, and The Undertaker. Yes. And The Undertaker choke slam Rikishi into the truck off the top of the cage. So now I'm with you.
So no, okay. So standing by everything I said earlier, but if you want to start at a point A, do Armageddon 2000, because even in that match, that Hell in a Cell match, you see a different shift. Rikishi, because Rikishi is in the midst of the biggest push of his life in this, and it's a couple of guys have the potential to have this moment right now. I think in a lot of respects, this is what's happening to the women's division, and maybe it wasn't explained properly, because that 6-pack challenge that was supposed to be for Bianca's number one contender. Hell, maybe that might have led to Naomi getting her Rikishi moment. Or, you know what I'm saying? Hey, but again, maybe not. Maybe it was for Doudrop. I don't know. Or Nikki ASH. There's but the thing is, 2000, there's the half of the roster is super the fuck over. So now they printing money. They printing pops at this point. So I think it's important to just look at that as because I think the 83 weeks is far gone.
Yeah.
And now the WWE is like, okay, now let's kick them while they down. Like 2000 is like, yo, we're gonna kick them while they down. And they getting curb stomped on the low if we can get the shit off.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because this is a hell of a pay-per-view for Birmingham, Alabama, y'all. Y'all gotta just think about that in itself. We don't even recognize Birmingham as a top 20 market for wrestling as far as like today's era.
Nah, this ain't it. This ain't NWA.
Right. So yeah. So start there. But just check out 2000. Check out the year 2000. But if I gotta put it on one pay-per-view, definitely Armageddon 2000 for sure.
There we go. All right, man. End us off.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man. Thank y'all. We appreciate y'all. Ross, thank you for sitting in the third spot today. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate you as well as everybody else. Likes, comments, shares, tags, conversation, pictures, videos, hyperbole, hypothesis, theory. We appreciate all of it. And I didn't mean theory to wrestle. I mean theories like what y'all thinking about what's going to happen next. All right. and also the debate and conversation. All of it is greatly appreciated every single week, every single day. Obviously, we love doing the show with you all, participating, but we would still do it without it. And always remember, if you ever want to talk about wrestling in an unconventional way, you do so by checking out the first Black Champ podcast. Camp Bang. We are out.